Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Breaking the Barriers. So today's video topic is for class 10th CBSE English students, and this is the third chapter of your book. The name of the chapter, as you can see on the screen, is Two Stories About Flying. Now you must have seen that this chapter is divided into two parts, and we are talking about the first part 1, his first flight. This is story of a seagull. Now what's a seagull? Seagull is as you can see on the image, seagull is a seabird, and these birds make their nest or live on mountains and cliffs near the sea or ocean, and their primary food is fishes. So this story is of a seagull and his family, and an incident has been discussed, incident of how this little seagull learned his first flight. The white lines on the screen is your text according to the NCERT book, and the yellow lines here are the word meanings of the difficult words. So let's begin. The young seagull was alone on the ledge. Ledge is the, as you can see in the image, the outer part of a cliff or a mountain. See here it is written the narrow horizontal shelf projecting from a wall or here a cliff. In this chapter we are talking about ledge of a cliff or a mountain. So you can see this woman is going towards the ledge or the outer end of the cliff. Now we have seen it in National Geographic or Discovery channels that birds who make their nest on high mountains, they usually sit on the ledge. So his two brothers and his sister has already flown away the day before. We are talking about the first flight of the new birds, baby birds, and the sister and the brother has already flown away. They have already completed their first flight. But the main character of this story, our seagull, somehow when he had taken a little run towards the brink, means the edge, this part, brink of the ledge, and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. So when he took the run towards his first flight, and as he was about to reach the brink, somehow he was afraid and could not master the courage to take that flight, and he stopped himself. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. So he saw that in front there was complete big sea, big stretch of green sea, and there he was sitting miles above the ground. That means he was sitting on a top mountain, and he was afraid that if he was not able to take this flight, he may fall off the cliff and he may die. And that is why he didn't launch himself towards the sky. He was certain that his wings would not support him, so he bent his head and ran away back to his little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So he turned around and went back to the hole, the small hole that was there on the mountain where he used to sleep. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge. Plunge means jump or dive quickly and energetically, which appeared to him so desperate. So, other brothers and sisters who were physically not as strong as him also flew away, but he was not able to gather enough courage. Muster up courage means gather enough courage to take that plunge or to jump and dive. He was so desperate. Desperate means he was hopeless towards the situation that he will be tackling. Okay, so this is the second part. His father and mother had come around calling to him shrilly. What does shrilly means? Shrilly means with high pitched voice or sound, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. Upbraiding means scolding. So his father and mother seagull were flying around the cliff, and they were scolding him, and they were shouting on him, and they were threatening him that he will starve to death if he did not flew away. Means they are making their intentions clear that they are not going to feed him over there. If he want to have some food, he has to fly off the cliff towards them. But for the life of him, he could not move. But he was so afraid that he was not able to move. That was 24 hours ago. Now, these two lines, this incident happened 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. So throughout the day, he was looking from that cliff, from that ledge, and what he was able to see, he was able to see that his parents are teaching different tactics of flight to his brothers and sisters. Skim means to move lightly just above the surface of the sea. Now you must have seen that birds skim on the surface of the sea, or they dive in this way to catch the fish. He had, in fact, seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring means a soft finned sea fish. So the older brother had his first hunt and he killed a herring and devoured it. Devour means eating quickly, gulping your food quickly without chewing it properly. Standing on a rock with his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. Now, the parents were very proud of this brother because he had hunted his first fish, and that is why they are crackling. Crackling means laugh in a loud and harsh way. They are happy for their older son, and that is why they are proudly crackling or laughing. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. Plateau means a flat surface on a top region, on a high altitude. So there was a plateau on the opposite cliff. Means there was this cliff where this seagull was sitting, and there was another cliff just opposite or just in front of the first cliff. And there on that first cliff was a plateau where the family is sitting, and they are taunting the seagull for his cowardice, that how a big coward you are, that you are not even having courage to initiate your first flight. The sun was now ascending the sky, means the morning, the sunrise time is about to come. The sun is ascending in the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. And the light and the heat of the sun is directly on the cliff where the seagull is sitting. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. The heat of the sun was affecting him. He was feeling the heat or warmth of the sun because he was tired, weak, and hungry because he has not eaten anything since the nightfall. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge. I've already told you brink means the end of the ledge. And standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, if you have seen these seabirds or if you have visited zoo, you must have seen that some birds have a habit of standing on one leg. They rest their other leg while doing this. Other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye and then he closed the other eye and pretended to be falling asleep. He was showing to others that he was sleeping. Still, they took no notice of him. Now, it is written pretended. Why is he pretending? Because he wanted his family members to take care of him, to notice him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk in their necks. Now, you must have seen, if you have seen birds closely, you must have seen that this is also a habit of these birds, that when they sleep, they put their head in their neck. They relax themselves and they were dozing off, means sleeping. His father was peering the feathers on his white back. Peering means making an effort to maintain the feathers. You must have seen birds with their beaks try to comb their feathers or try to assemble their feathers in a particular systematic way. That is known as preening. The father was preening his feathers on his white back, and his mother was looking at him. She was standing on the little high hump on the plateau. Hump means a raised portion. You say, have seen na, camels have hump on their back. So there was a hump on the plateau, and there the mother was standing straight because her white breast thrust forward, means she was standing in an upright position. Now and again she tore a piece at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. So the mother was having a fish near her feet, and so she was tearing off the piece of this flesh from the fish one by one, and she was scraping each side of her beak on the rock. Scraping means rubbing the beak on the rock in such a way as to sharpen it. Hunter birds, those who hunt other animals to eat, though these birds try to sharp their beaks by rubbing them on trees or rocks. So that is what the mother is doing. The sight of the food maddened him. Means when he saw his mother with food, he was extremely hungry. So this sight maddened him. He went crazy for the food. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Wet means to sharpen. You can see here, wet means to sharpen. So he was imagining that the way his mother is trying to tear the flesh of the fish, how happy he would be to do the same thing right now. Ga, 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 he cried. This is the sound. And he begging her mother to bring him some food. Ga kolach. This is the reply of the mother. She screamed back derisively. Derisively means in a manner showing someone that she is stupid. Means mother is trying to say that the seagull is stupid, that he is not attempting to fly. But he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively means, see at the bottom end of the screen, the meaning is written, something done in a sad and mournful way. The seagulls keep on asking for help in a plaintive manner. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. He was happy after a minute. Why? Because his mother has picked up a piece of the fish and she was flying across to him. Maybe the mother felt pity on this seagull, and now she is having a piece of this fish in her beak and she's flying towards the cliff where the seagull is sitting. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet. Now, why is he leaning out or looking forward eagerly? Because he can see his mother flying across towards him. And he's tapping the rock under his feet due to excitement, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. Now he is sitting on the cliff and he's trying to go near to the edge of the cliff because the mother is coming. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. Halted means stopped. Her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. Now look here towards me at the screen. Suppose this is the seagull sitting on the cliff, and this is the mother who's approaching the seagull. So she came near to the seagull, but she's not making any contact with the seagull. She is holding that piece of fish in her mouth and she is flying a few centimeters away from the seagull. She is trying to lure the seagull towards the food. The seagull cannot grab the food because there is some distance between mother and the seagull, and between them there is the gap, the end of the ledge. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come near, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into the space. So firstly, he was thinking that why my mother is not coming towards me, why she is standing over there motionlessly. This is a trick of mother to attract seagull to jump towards the sea. Okay, the mother tricked the seagull with that bait so that seagull could leave the cliff. Okay, so the seagull is now falling down in the space, means down below, because he has up till now not opened his wings. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. Then he was terrified because he is falling off the cliff. He is there in air for the first time. For the first time he is in the air. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outward. Now, this is the inbuilt quality of the birds, that if they are falling, they will automatically open their wings. And as soon as they will open their wings, they will balance themselves in the air. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach, and against his wings. So the wind was rushing towards his feathers, towards his breast, and he was feeling all these things for the first time. He could feel the tip of his wings cutting through the air. Now, the wings of the birds are aerodynamically designed by nature. So they cut through the air as soon as the bird tried to fly. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outward. So now he was not falling like this. He was falling like this. Soaring means he was falling and moving forward. This is known as soaring because he has opened his wings. So now he's not going like this down. Now he is soaring in the sky. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy, you can see at the end, an uncomfortable feeling of spinning around and losing one's balance. So why is he feeling dizzy? Because he is on a flight for the first time. He is flying for the first time. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upward. Now, as soon as he started flapping his wing, he started soaring upward. Okay. Ga ga ga, ga ga ga, gawkalach. His mother swept past him, her wings making a loud noise. Swept, you can see at the end of the page, move rapidly move rapidly downward through the air. So mother is also moving with the seagull. Suppose this is the seagull. So mother is also moving next to the seagull. And the repeated ga is the sound of the seagull and gakola is the sound of the mother bird. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him, screaming. Then the father also came and he could see his father flying over him, above him, in the sky, in the air. He saw his two brothers and sisters flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Now you see at the end of the page, curveting means leaping like a horse, jumping like a horse. Banking means flying with one wing higher than the other. Like birds do not fly like this every time they twist themselves. So this motion is known as banking. We'll go to that later on. Soaring and diving. Soaring, I've already told you, and diving is a motion of going downward. So they are playing in the air. This is the tactics that the bird can do with its wings in the air. And the whole family is doing this around the seagull. Maybe they are trying to teach him because this is his first flight. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. Means he's filled with confidence. He's not at all thinking that this is his first time. And commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. Now he was also diving, soaring, curving, and he is also shrieking shrilly. Shrilly, I've already told you in the previous part of this video that shrilly means that you are shouting or talking in loud noise. And was near the sea now, flying straight over it. He was flying over the sea, facing straight out over the ocean. Now he is flying over the sea. He saw a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. Now he was flying, and as he's flying, he looked at the beautiful sea. Then he turned his beak sideward, means he tried to looking here and there, and then he cawed. Caw means a harsh cry. See at the end of the page, it is a sound made by the birds, and he's quite amused. That is why he's making this caw sound amusingly. His parents and his brother and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead on him. Means the other members of the family landed on the sea. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. Beckon means to call someone with a gesture. See the end of the page. So they are settled on the seabed, and you know that any bird which is a seabird like a duck or any other bird like seagull, these birds can float on water. So they are floating on water and they are beckoning him, means calling him. But for him, this is the first time. He's unaware of this fact that he can also float on water. So his legs, as he dropped his legs into the sea, his legs sank into it. His legs sank inside the sea. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. So he is landing on the sea for the first time, so he is not aware of this fact that my legs are supposed to sink inside the water. So he's trying to flap his wings and he's trying to again fly away. But he was tired and weak with hunger and he could not rise. But he was so weak that he was not able to rise. Exhausted by this exercise, this flying is an exercise. His feet sank into the green sea and then his belly touched and he sank no further. Now, after his feet sank inside the sea, his belly part, the chest portion, touched the sea and he sank no further. He started floating on the sea like other seabirds. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming in pleasure. They are happy that the last member of the family is also now able to fly, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight. So all the other members of the family are praising him, they are happy for him, and with their beaks they are giving him scraps or pieces of dogfish to eat. And this is how he had made his first flight. So, as the title suggested, this is a story of how a young seagull made his first flight in the sky. I hope this video was helpful for you. It takes a lot of efforts to make videos like this. So please like the video, subscribe my channel, and mention how you like the video in the comments. Keep supporting, keep loving the channel. It's bye for now. Thank you.